Traveling at the speed of ideas on the Knowledge Transfer Exchange. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation, the Training Development Team, and the State Office of Construction. David Sadler, Director, 605 Swanee Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 850-414-4150. And now, today's guest.
This is the road user cost. I'll abbreviate throughout the presentation, RUC. I'll likely say road user cost, but just so you know what that means. And my name is Ashley Anderson from the State Construction Office, and this is the Knowledge Transfer Exchange in March of 2018. What is road user cost? It's defined as the estimated daily cost to the traveling public resulting from construction work being performed. That cost refers to loss of time caused by construction work. I got this definition from the techniques for manually estimating road user costs, which you can get to through that chain right there on the internet: offices, construction, construction support, and scheduling. And this is a report from the Texas Transportation Institute, and it goes into a lot of detail about road user cost. So this is one of the standard resources for road user cost. Some road user cost factors that lead into that cost to the traveling public are detours that add to travel time, reduced roadway capacity that slows travel speed and increases travel time, delay in opening of a new or improved facility that prevents users from gaining travel time benefits, additional costs such as operating costs for the vehicle and accident costs due to the construction being there or some effect that wouldn't have been there without the construction. And then road conditions, which could be comparing the before and after construction or the during and after construction cost. The department road user applications, we have a couple that we use, and the next few slides I'll go through the specifications that we input the cost into. The first one is lane rental. If you go to our construction website at this link, we have pretty detailed explanation on it under our alternative contracting page. And CPAM 1.2 also covers alternative contracting and has a lane rental section. The lane rental concept requires a fee to be established during design and placed in the contract to be assessed for each day or half day of lane closure in excess of the number of total lane rental days in the contract. The number of lane rental days is either set by the contractor or the engineer, and it just depends on which spec was chosen for that particular contract. The first one is going to be for when the contractor sets the lane rental days. It tells them to determine the number of days, and then we give them the cost. But it's more like an A plus B bid, where they're bidding their cost as well as the time for the lane rental. And this is the pay adjustment where we assess the per day fee for the lane rental when they don't meet the specification requirements. This specification is for when the engineer sets the lane rental days. It gives not to exceed amounts. It gives the allowable number of days, so we tell the contractor what they're going to have, as well as the lane rental amount. The second application that the department uses road user costs for is damage recovery, which is very similar to lane rental, but instead of being for the overall contract, it's for the traffic control plans and typically an amount of time that they're supposed to have lanes open for. For instance, if your plans say you have to have lanes open at 8 o'clock, and you don't open them up until 8:30, you're going to be charged 30 minutes of time to the traveling public based on the cost that's in the specification. Again, CPAM 1.2 covers damage recovery as well, and then we have specific specifications where we give them the cost for the first 30 minutes and under, and then each 30 minutes thereafter, as well as the not to exceed amount. So this is when the contractor sets, it gives that same dollar amount from the road user costs. And this is when the engineer sets it. Looks very similar. Some other potential applications for road user cost include liquidated damages, incentive-disincentive contracts, no excuse bonus contracts, and liquidated savings. We talked about the A plus B, but it could be used for ones that don't have the lane rental aspect as well. So how are road user costs developed for FDOT? We use the road user cost software. You can download this software through that link off the InfoNet, so the internal website. In 2008, FIU researched how each district developed road user cost, compared those methods to the standard in the industry, and then developed a report for FDOT detailing those procedures as well as developing a new procedure for FDOT to use to standardize the calculation across the state. And part of that was developing the road user cost software. The link here takes you to the report from FIU. It's off the research page. It's an archived link, so you can only get through it directly this way. Best I could tell, there was no direct link on a website, so that'll just be available in the presentation. Some key features of FDOT road user cost software is the simple data input. It was comparable calculations to the Arizona DOT model as well as the CUES model. The interface is user-friendly, and it's a realistic model of calculation scenarios, and it has easy management of the data. So now I'm going to move into an example of how to use the software. I got this example from District 3. This is their construction memo where they put in their damage recovery for the designer to put into the specifications. And this is the plan set that goes along with the project. I'll show you the few things that we'll need for the actual application, and then we'll go into the application and open that. So this is a standard set of plans. Pretty sure all of us are familiar with that. But the things that we're going to need, you need to know what district it is in. You need to know the construction type. Typically it gives you a detail, like a brief description of it here, as well as the other contract documents will tell you what county it is in. And then we're going to skip over to page 4 of these plans, which has your typical sections, where if you look down here in this bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to try to zoom in, hopefully it'll look okay. From this, we need to get the truck percentage, the traffic volume, the number of lanes, and the speed limit. So you'll get all that information from this traffic data, as well as looking through the actual typical section to see how many lanes there are. It's going to ask for that in the program. The next thing that we're going to need to know are what are the lane restrictions for this particular contract. And that is back in your traffic control plans. Just going to scroll through. And then we're going to go to page 50. And then in the general notes, it tells us that there are lane closure restrictions on school days from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. and then from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. So that's pretty much all the information that we need from the plans, and then we'll go into the actual application. One step before we jump into it, whenever you download the software from the InfoNet, you'll get a set of instructions, and that's what this links to here. And it's a web page that has all the step-by-step pieces detailing the road user cost instructions for you. Jumping right into the software. First thing you're going to notice is this click OK to update the seed files and continue. I'll give you a little bit of background on this for those that are wanting to use the road user cost program. This historically would go out and fetch the seed files automatically from the FTP site and then upload them into your program whenever you clicked OK. Once the FTP site was updated last year or so, we were unable to maintain the application this way, so we are updating the seed files directly in the download file. So each time we update it, you'll need to download the application again. So just keep that in mind. We do send out notices, and we'll let the DCEs know when we do that so that their respective district personnel can download the application so that it's up to date with the correct data. So you just enter your project information. Like it said, it's pretty simple entry. You give it a project name, and then you hit next. And then you look through and you make sure, this one's already selected all my data it looks like, but you would enter your District 3, it's Holmes County, it's light construction type, the work zone length. You used to get this from the front of the plans, but they took the table off. So you can get this by just calculating station to station. It'll be slightly different. What District 3 does is they go to the work program database and use the work length there. And then these two before and after construction for the traffic volume, number of lanes, and posted speed are from the typical section like I showed you before. At the bottom of this page, you see the lane closure hours. It is only whole hours. It doesn't give you the half, so you have to make an engineering decision if you want to roll up or roll down. They did 8 to 9 and 3 to 4 for their 7:30 to 9:30 and 2:30 to 4:30. There's an additional adjustment that you can put in here if there's a reduction in speed to give it that time adjustment as well. It did it automatically since it already had my project in here. It pretty much prints off exactly what we put in here, as well as shoots out the cost as accident cost, vehicle operating cost, and then the total cost. Then they took that cost and divided it by the number of hours that there were lane closures and came up with their hour and their 30-minute cost. Like I said, pretty simple program, pretty rudimentary entries using from your plans. Are there any questions?
Why do I get a notification to update seed files when I open the RUC application?
The road user cost application was originally written to fetch the updated seed files from the Department FTP site upon the application opening. This notification was letting you know the application was being updated, but this function no longer works. You will need to manually download future updates to the software to ensure you have updated seed files.
Okay, why doesn't the downloading accident cost.xml notification go away at the top of the RUC application?
For the same reasons, in November 2016, the Department FTP site was changed from open access to secure permissions. This caused the application to be unable to fetch the updated seed files as originally designed. With all the other application priorities currently in progress, the State Construction Office is unable to update the road user cost software to fetch from the new location at this time. As a workaround, the seed files in the road user cost download have been updated. Each user will need to download and reinstall the software each time the seed files are updated. This happens approximately every 2 years. Contact the State Construction Systems section to verify you're using the latest version of the road user cost software.
Okay, thanks. What is the significance of entering the district in the application? Is there a variance between state regions as far as the cost impact?
The Construction Office obtains updated crash information from the Safety Office to ensure the road user cost application is using the latest data for accident cost and accident rate in the road user cost calculations. This crash information is updated in the seed files for each district by facility type, including rural, urban, 2-lane, multi-lane, and limited access. Depending on the project location and the type of project selected, the accident cost and accident rate will differ, thereby affecting the road user cost for each district.
So how do I determine what impact factor to use?
The Road User Cost User Manual provides some guidance on adjusting the impact factor based on the Arizona model. The actual impact factor used will be an engineering decision based on the specific project being evaluated.
So is the total cost shown on the road user cost report, is it per hour?
No, this is the total cost for the number of lane closure hours selected in the application. Divide the total cost by the total number of lane closure hours selected to get the per hour cost. Determining the cost for the first 30 minutes and the 24-hour not to exceed amounts shown in the specification will be an engineering decision based on the specific project being evaluated. In this example, the total cost is $19,613.50, and 4 lane closure hours were selected, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 4 p.m. The road user cost per hour is $19,613.50 divided by 4, which is $4,903.
Okay, that sounds good. So my last question would be, who is responsible for determining if alternative contracting techniques like A+B, lane rental, damage recovery, incentive, disincentive are used on a specific contract? Who is responsible for calculating road user costs?
The district scheduling engineer, in conjunction with the district construction engineer, determine when alternative contracting techniques are used. Each DCE may delegate the responsibility as they see fit, but typically the district scheduling engineer is responsible for calculating the road user costs.
Great help. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.
That's it for now, folks. Until next time, buckle up, travel safe, and always keep moving at the speed of ideas on the Knowledge Transfer Exchange. See you next time. This has been a production of the FDOT Construction Training Development Team, building bridges to the future, one mind at a time.